before the billion-dollar hair care industry existed, before the aisles of expensive serums were quietly growing thick, strong hair with nothing but a few simple things from the kitchen. And here is what might surprise you, coming from a dermatologist. A lot of what they did actually works, and modern science can now explain exactly why. Not all of it. Some old remedies are pure myth, and I will be honest with you about which. But several of these old-fashioned treatments have real, sound science behind them, and they cost a tiny fraction of what you are paying for products that often do less. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 old-fashioned hair remedies that I, as a dermatologist, actually approve of, explaining the real reason each one works and exactly how to use it correctly. Stay with me to the end, because the 5th one is the remedy with the strongest modern scientific evidence of them all, and your grandmother was using it long before any study confirmed it. Your doctor has probably never had time to walk you through this, not because they are hiding it, because appointments are too short. I'm Dr. Alan Brooks. I have spent 35 years as a board-certified dermatologist, focused on hair and scalp, and more than 10,000 patients have sat across my desk. And I will admit something. Early in my career, I was dismissive of these old kitchen remedies, assuming they were just folklore. But over the years, as the research caught up, I kept seeing the actual mechanisms behind them, the compounds, the effects, the reasons they worked. And I watched patients get genuinely good results from simple, inexpensive things their families had used for generations, sometimes better results than from products costing 50 times as much. So I learned to respect the wisdom, while separating the parts that hold up from the parts that do not. That is exactly what I want to give you today, the honest dermatologist's verdict on Grandma's remedies. This channel is where I say what I never have time to say in a 15-minute visit. Maybe you are here because you're tired of spending money on fancy products that overpromise and underdeliver, and part of you suspects the simple old ways might have been onto something. That instinct is worth honoring. There is real value buried in traditional remedies, precisely because they were tested by generations of actual use, kept because they worked and passed down for a reason. So let us look at them with clear eyes, taking the genuine wisdom and leaving the myths behind. So let me explain why these old remedies work at all, because once you understand it, it stops feeling like folklore and starts making complete sense. Healthy hair growth comes down to a few basic conditions, and every remedy on this list hits one or more of them directly. First, your follicles need good blood circulation, because blood carries the oxygen and nutrients the root needs to build hair. And as we age, that circulation declines. Second, they need the right raw materials, mainly protein and specific nutrients, because hair is essentially built protein. Third, they need a calm, healthy scalp environment, free of the inflammation, buildup, and dryness that choke a follicle. And fourth, they benefit from anything that protects against the daily oxidative damage that ages the follicle over time. Now here is the beautiful thing about traditional remedies. Our grandmothers did not know the words circulation or oxidative stress, but through generations of trial and observation, they landed on kitchen ingredients that happened to deliver exactly these things. A scalp massage boosts circulation. An egg delivers protein. Aloe calms the scalp. Rosemary improves blood flow. They were solving the real biological problems of hair loss without ever naming them, which is why the science, arriving a century later, keeps confirming them. These are not random superstitions. They are folk solutions to genuine mechanisms, which is exactly why the good ones hold up. But before we start, let me give you the honest framework, because I promised you the truth and not just flattery of the old ways. Not every traditional remedy works, and some can even harm you if used wrong. You may have heard of rubbing raw garlic or onion juice directly and aggressively on the scalp, or leaving harsh substances on far too long, and some of these can cause irritation or burns. And no remedy, old or new, can regrow hair from a follicle that has truly died, or reverse advanced genetic baldness on its own. So I'm not here to tell you Grandma had a magic cure for everything. What I'm here to do is show you the specific old remedies that have real science behind them, used the right way, so you get the benefit without the risk. With that honest footing, let us begin. Number 5 on our way up, and a wonderful foundation, is a scalp massage with warm oil. Now, this might sound too simple to count, but it is one of the most time-honored practices across countless cultures. Grandmothers warming a bit of oil and massaging it into the scalp, and the science behind it is genuinely sound. The massage itself is the key. When you massage your scalp with your fingertips, you increase blood circulation to the follicles, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to the root, and research suggests consistent scalp massage can actually improve hair thickness over time. The warm oil, whether coconut, olive, or almond, adds its own benefit by conditioning the scalp, reducing dryness, and helping to prevent the breakage that comes from brittle, dry hair. The mistake people make is either skipping the massage and just slapping oil on, or using oil that is too hot. So here's the right way. Warm a tablespoon or 2 of oil until it is comfortably warm, never hot, and massage it into your scalp with your fingertips, not your nails, in slow circles for 5 to 10 minutes. Leave it on for at least 30 minutes or overnight, then wash it out with a gentle shampoo. Do this once or twice a week. It costs almost nothing, and it hits circulation and scalp health at the same time. Number 4 is an onion juice treatment, and I know I can hear the reaction, but stay with me, because this is the one that surprises people the most, and it has real research behind it. Onions are rich in sulfur, which is a critical building block for strong hair, since hair is made of a protein that depends heavily on sulfur bonds. Sulfur also supports collagen production, which nourishes the follicles. And remarkably, a real published study found that people who applied onion juice to their scalp saw significantly more hair regrowth than those who did not, with a notable percentage seeing improvement over a few weeks. That is a genuine result for a humble kitchen remedy. Now, the mistakes here are important. Applying raw onion aggressively can irritate the skin, and the smell is famously strong. So here is how to do it correctly and safely. Extract the juice by grating or blending onion and straining it. Do a patch test behind your ear first, because some people are sensitive. Apply the juice to your scalp gently. Leave it on for only about 15 to 30 minutes, not for hours, and then wash it out thoroughly with a gentle shampoo, which also handles the smell. Use it a couple of times a week. The sulfur really can support stronger growth, as long as you respect your skin. Now, everything from here climbs in strength, because the next remedies bring together multiple benefits at once, and the science gets even more convincing. We are moving from single benefit remedies to the true multitaskers. But before we do something for me right now. Type in the comments which of these old remedies your own family used when you were growing up, and tell me your age. I think you will be amazed how many of these traditions were shared across completely different families and cultures, all of you passing down the same quiet wisdom. Number 3 is an aloe vera treatment, straight from the plant your grandmother probably kept on the windowsill. Aloe vera is a genuine multitasker for hair and scalp, which is why it has endured across generations. First, it has soothing anti-inflammatory properties that calm an irritated, itchy, or flaky scalp. And a calm scalp is a far better environment for growth than an inflamed one. Second, it contains enzymes that gently help clear away dead skin cells and excess oil clogging the follicles, essentially unclogging the pores so hair can grow freely. Third, it is deeply moisturizing without being greasy, conditioning both scalp and hair. The mistake people make is buying aloe products loaded with additives, alcohol, and fragrance that undo the benefits. So the right way is to use pure aloe vera gel, ideally scooped straight from a fresh leaf or a product that is as close to pure as possible. Apply it to your scalp and hair. Leave it on for about 30 minutes and rinse. You can do this a couple of times a week. It soothes, it unclogs, and it moisturizes all at once, which is why it has lasted so long. Number 2 is an egg treatment, one of the oldest hair remedies in the world, and it earns its place through pure nourishment. Think about what an egg actually is. It is packed with protein, and your hair is almost entirely protein, so applying it delivers the very building material hair is made from, helping to strengthen strands and reduce breakage. Egg yolks are also rich in biotin and other nutrients that support healthy hair, along with fats that condition and add shine. Grandmothers used egg masks to bring life back to dull, weak hair. And the logic is completely sound. You are feeding the hair its own raw material. The mistake people make is using hot water to rinse it out, which literally cooks the egg into your hair, leaving a mess. So here's the right way. Whisk 1 or 2 eggs. Apply the mixture to your hair and scalp. Leave it on for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then crucially, rinse with cool or lukewarm water, never hot, followed by a gentle shampoo. Use it once a week. It is one of the most nourishing, protein-rich treatments you can give your hair, for the price of an egg. And now, number 1, the old remedy with the strongest modern scientific evidence of all. The one your grandmother likely used without ever knowing a study, would one day prove her right. This is rosemary, used as an oil or a rinse. Rosemary has been used for hair for centuries across the Mediterranean and beyond, and modern science has caught up in the most striking way. A real randomized controlled trial compared rosemary oil against minoxidil, one of the standard proven hair loss treatments, over 6 months, and found that the rosemary group achieved comparable hair growth to the minoxidil group with less scalp itching. Let me say that plainly because it is remarkable. A traditional herb performed about as well as a leading pharmaceutical treatment in a controlled study. The reason is that rosemary contains compounds that improve microcirculation to the follicles and may help protect against the effects of the hormone that shrinks them. Your grandmother, rinsing her hair with rosemary water, was practicing real science before the science existed. Let me tell you about Margaret, 63, a patient of mine, who was skeptical of expensive treatments and told me her own grandmother had always rinsed her hair with rosemary from the garden. She wanted to know if it was just a family superstition or if there was anything to it. I told her about the research, and we set her up with a proper diluted rosemary oil routine, a few drops in a carrier oil, massaged into the scalp, left on, a few nights a week. At her follow-up months later, she was genuinely delighted, with less shedding and fine new growth along her part, and more than a little proud that her grandmother had been right all along. The mistake with rosemary is using the essential oil undiluted, which can irritate the scalp. So always dilute it, 3 to 5 drops per tablespoon of a carrier oil. Of all the old remedies, this is the one I recommend most, because the evidence is simply the strongest. Now, before I give you the plan to put this together, let me add one honorable mention and clear up one myth, because both matter. The honorable mention is an apple cider vinegar rinse, another old kitchen staple with real merit. Diluted apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon or 2 in a cup of water used as a final rinse, helps restore your scalp's natural acidity, gently clears product buildup, and can leave hair smoother and shinier by helping the outer cuticle lie flat. Just always dilute it, never pour it on straight, and keep it out of your eyes. It is a simple, cheap way to reset a build-up heavy scalp. And now the myth I want to bury, because it wastes people's time. You may have heard that brushing your hair 100 strokes a night makes it grow thicker and healthier. This is one of the old ideas that does not hold up and can actually hurt you. Excessive brushing does not stimulate growth in any meaningful way, and all that friction and pulling causes breakage and can stress the follicles, especially on fragile aging hair. So this is a piece of grandmotherly advice you can safely retire. Gentle detangling when needed, yes. 100 aggressive strokes a night, no. I mention it because part of honoring traditional wisdom is being honest about the parts that were simply wrong, and this is one of them. So here's exactly what to do with all of this, step by step, if you want to bring Grandma's wisdom into your routine safely. First, always do a patch test behind your ear with anything new, especially the onion juice and the rosemary oil, and wait 24 hours to make sure you do not react. Second, dilute properly. Essential oils like rosemary must always go into a carrier oil, never straight on the scalp. Third, respect the timing. These remedies have recommended durations for a reason, and leaving something like onion juice on for hours does not help and can harm. And fourth, be consistent, because like anything for hair, these work through steady, repeated use, not a single application. A simple weekly rhythm might look like this: a warm oil scalp massage once or twice a week, an egg or aloe treatment once a week for nourishment, and your diluted rosemary oil a few nights a week as your evidence-backed workhorse, with the onion juice as an optional extra if you tolerate it. 2 practical tips. First, do not fall into the trap of thinking that because these are natural, more is automatically better or safer. Natural things can still irritate and harm if overused, so follow the amounts and the timing. Second, take a dated photo of your hair now, in the same light, because these remedies work gradually, and your memory will not track slow progress accurately, but a photo will. One thing, doctor to viewer, before you try any of this. These remedies can genuinely support healthier hair, but they are not a cure for every kind of hair loss, and they cannot revive a follicle that has truly died or single-handedly reverse advanced genetic baldness. Always patch test, because natural does not mean everyone tolerates it. And if your hair is falling out suddenly, in patches, or alongside other symptoms, or if these gentle remedies are not helping a clearly worsening problem, please see a dermatologist in person, because that deserves a proper evaluation. I am a doctor, but I am not your doctor. Now, one last honest word, because it captures everything I love about this topic. Our grandmothers did not have laboratories or clinical trials, but they had something valuable: generations of real-world observation, keeping what worked and passing it down. And it turns out that a good deal of that inherited wisdom holds up beautifully under modern science, from the circulation-boosting scalp massage, to the sulfur in onions, to the genuinely impressive evidence behind rosemary. Not all of it, and I have been honest with you about the limits, but far more than the expensive modern industry would ever want you to realize. Here is the honest expectation, though. These are gentle, gradual remedies, not overnight miracles. So give them consistent use over months, and remember that hair grows only about ½ inch a month, so patience is part of the method. And if your hair loss has a deeper cause, these will support your hair while you address the root, but they will not do everything alone. Because this was never only about hair. It is about reclaiming simple, affordable wisdom that actually works, cutting through the noise of a billion-dollar industry, and trusting that some of the best answers were in your grandmother's kitchen all along. So try one of these this week, and come back and tell me in the comments which old remedy your own family used, and whether you're going to give it a try. Type your age too. I read every single one. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.